וישלח, and sent, as to stretch out and to let loose, on shalech, impressing and goading with a shepherd's staff, go, go, at the walls. And מציה is the one who sends it, whom Yah hath strengthened. Yah, who works in the Spirit to reveal. And Amos is courage, to being bold, strong and courageous and brave and stout. Given is the power of Ale, of what might be done, and elevated tzaddik is that of victory and praise. And מציה is a Kohen, a priest, whom Yah has opened his hands, and the priest, if he were with a bended knee, to reveal continuity. They the Ale, house of God. And it was a royal city of the Canaanites, however captured by Yehoshua, and it was allotted to Benjamin. And is a place where Yirba'am set up the worship of the calves. Now that's horrible. You won't like that. And we see what happens when the people of Israel have set up worship of the golden calf, didn't we? He gets really mad. And therefore is מציה who sends El Yirba'am. People will contend, or whose people are many. However, they will strive with words and argue. But not only with words, it could be physical as well. Is people, from Amem, to hide and dim, as to gather together this darkness immersed in this concealed chaos. And Riv is to contend, given the authority has punched the tent, and the tent doesn't like this. Melech Israel, the king of Israel, is the immersed one to have authority, to bend. And Israel is God who prevails. El, the leader who has instructed on how to set things in order. Sarah. However, if Israel contends, there's going to be pressing on the head to reveal his will, that he prevails. Lamor, saying, as the power of Ale, of what might be done according to his words, and to start, and is like a vow, a command, and sayings. Kasher has conspired, as to bind and confine, a plot to carry out a harmful or illegal act. But is it illegal? Of course not, but is harmful indeed. On kasher is to condense, as to confine it, this devouring fire, and to start, given is in the plotting stage. Alecha, over you, upon you, or against you, says the text. But is that over you? El. Amos, burden. As to impose a burden is ames, and is onerous, or not easily borne, a difficult concern, given is a will of this chaos, and he keeps on adding and attaching, and is thorny, therefore is a burden. Bekeref, against you, says the text, but is in the inner part, or among, in the middle. Beit Israel, the house of Israel, as the inner man who has to worship, or within to worship, the monument that El has set up. However, Israel has prohibited this conspiracy, lo thuchel, in prohibition or not. And Yahol has to have power, to endure, to overcome, and prevail. Given Yahol is to work and being able of this yoke. Haaretz, the land or earth, and this is the tribal territory of Israel. However, given that this earth is Jehovah who has made it all, is the leader who has started the righteous journey, already in victory, everything perfect and firm. However, we have messed up from the beginning, from the sin of Adam, and therefore God has to start everything made right again. However, they have no power to hold or sustain, lehachil, to sustain, to measure, to seize and contain, to hold or to feed, and kul, an open container, like a cooler, and being able to add this learning. And it's not just part of the learning, it's kol dvarav, all his words or declarations of his speakings and utterance by arranging, and each of these threats on daver, to knock at the mind or dominion, and this tend the expected deeds. Although we see Amos, who is a burden, in plotting on how he will lay to waste the land of Israel, even its high places of Yitzchak, and there's going to be a sword against the house of Yirba'am. And therefore, Emmetsya Kohen doesn't like this. However, his name indicates that of courage and bold about God's victory. He will certainly fulfill that in his name, because in the land that God made, things have to be made right. And he is the only way for which, if the priest is going to send out to Yirba'am, how God will carry his judgment. However, they don't like the burden of Amos. In God's timing, he sees that the people are increasing, and he, being Melech Israel, is not doing his job. He's supposed to instruct with God's staff in directing the people in the right direction. However, they haven't, and Israel, God prevails, has to set things right. Even if it takes a burden or a devouring fire to start his cleansing work. And obviously, the land is not able to contain the words of Amos, because it means waste. But if Israel is to be a house of worship of the true monument, if they are wrong monuments, then Eyal has to bring them all things down to the ground. No matter the burden or how heavy it is, obviously he has to start from the ground up. And the same goes with our lives. If there is already a plot against us, we have to bend ourselves in humility and embrace his prophecy against us. We may perhaps receive mercy from God, from a repentant heart, that our hearts be made right, to be a temple for Eyal, and to embrace his burdensome messages, that his land be purified and made right, to reflect his victory from the very beginning. Amen. Yah can be your strength. However, wandering too far away from him means that he will conspire against thee. And although you may not be able to carry his heavy burden of judgment, it is all for the better to start from a demolished state and make us all ready for his perfect new heaven and new earth.
וישלח אמציה כהן בית אל ירבעם מלך ישראל לאמור כאשר עליך אמוס בקרב בית ישראל לא תאכל הארץ לא תאכל הארץ להאכיל את כל דבריו